Good evening. A phenomenon I wanted to speak to you folks tonight about is the whole black-eyed kid thing. Um, these frightful specters, or ghosts, or demons, or mischievous children playing tricks, or interdimensional, whatever these creatures are, people have been seeing them for a long time, and people have been reporting them. And like most strange paranormal things, a lot of their common knowledge, a lot of their history, a lot of what people think of them comes from the internet. And I know there's a whole long creepypasta about these things that was preceded by like an urban legend, kind of like the old Bloody Mary and the Mirror thing or Slender Man. And a lot of people think that this black-eyed kid phenomenon is a more recent type thing that people are encountering in the paranormal world, as fantastical it is as it is. So for people that don't know, there are reports that children, sometimes in groups, usually alone, they'll ring on your door in the middle of the night, or it'll be in a rainstorm or in the cold, and there'll be a child a few feet from your door asking to come into your house. I need help. Can I borrow a phone? I'm cold. Can I come in? I'm hungry. Can I come in? People are chasing me. Can I come in? Or people are approached in a parking lot. Can you help me? Or people are driving and these kids will come out in the road and flag them down, and they'll say, can you give me a ride? I live just up the street. But there's always oddities. A lot of times they don't look you in the eye. A lot of times they're wearing hoodies and you can't quite see them clearly. But when you do see them, their eyes are completely black, like what you're seeing behind you. They have no retina and pupil and whatever the white part of your eye is. They're just completely creeped out, blacked over. And whatever this phenomenon is, there's a lot of speculation on what it could be. I think it's really important for people to know that that this isn't necessarily an internet hoax. This isn't necessarily BS. If it is BS, what have you lost by knowing about these things? But if it isn't, you really need to know that if a black-eyed child that's probably wearing, maybe wearing shorts and t-shirts standing in the snow, rings your doorbell, knocks on the door at 3 o'clock in the morning, wants to come into your house, you probably shouldn't let them in. And that's what's so disturbing, is that they're children, and a natural instinct, especially for me as a parent, is you want to help kids. You want to help people in general, but you want to help kids. So you see a barefoot 8-year-old kid in the middle of the night asking for help, you're going to want to help them. What I do, though, is I've got a flashlight on the back of the door. I would not let them in. The best advice is don't even engage with them. Once you figure out that it's a black-eyed child, don't even engage with them. Just let them go away. If you're religious, which I highly suggest that you are if you encounter these things, say a prayer. Dedicate your house to God or Jesus or whatever you believe in. Have them have the light have dominion over your residence. You stay away from these things. If you think that it might be a black-eyed kid, but it really possibly is an actual child, there's no harm in calling the police. Have them come out. Have them look around your property. Have them investigate. And if they go away, they go away. And if not, you tell the cop what you saw. You say, hey, I saw a child wandering around out here if anybody else has a report. But something seemed off, like it was a scam. Now, that's not to say that a home invasion or a burglary. There's all sorts of different scams where, like, a woman or a child or a young person or a pretty lady, if it's a guy, or somebody, in a suit, looks respectable or posing to be a cop, comes to your front door, and they ask you a few questions. They ask if they can come in, or they even stay by their front door while burglars sneak into your house and steal your stuff, or sneak up behind you, or they gain your trust. It's one of the oldest scams in the book. So even if it's not a black-eyed kid, if a child in the middle of the night is really pressing to get into your house, it might behoove you just to call the police in general, because even if it's not a demon, it could be just plain old bad people. But if you can, shine a flashlight on them, see what's going on. If you see the black eyes, tell them to go away. Tell them that this house is protected by Jesus Christ. Get them out of there, and maybe go pray. Go the next day, get some holy water, put a cross on your door. Do whatever you got to do to make your place a house of light, and I think these things won't bother you anymore. I've also heard a lot of stories. I mean, this is all conjecture. But like I said, people think this is a recent thing in the last couple of years, the whole black-eyed kid thing, or in the last 7 or 8 years. I remember hearing about this in the late '90s and into early 2000s in the Art Bell days, and some of the very early days out there of people having strange encounters. For a long time, I was into UFOs, and for a long time, I was in the paranormal field, looking at ghosts and poltergeists and shadow people and residual hauntings and active hauntings. And and one of the subjects that came up during that is people seeing children or ghosts of children or black-eyed kids. And personally, I think there's some kind of form of demon, or if you're not a straight out demon like you think from hell, I think maybe there's some kind of interdimensional or extra dimensional being that takes the form of a child that's trying to gain access to your house. All around just extremely creepy. These pictures are creeping me out even as I'm doing the voiceover for this video. But I wanted to put it out there as a warning. These things, demonic depression, demonic takeover, whatever you want to call it, I think no good has ever come from letting one of these things in your house. And there are some real horror stories out there. I know there's a lot of fictional stuff about these creatures, but it's definitely a phenomenon. Like I said, I put them in the same category as orbs and shadow people and poltergeist, or this black dog that truckers see on the highway. Like I said, I don't think they're anything cryptozoological as in an undiscovered species. I think they're definitely something straight up paranormal, and I think there's something on the evil side of paranormal. So I just wanted to put this out there for you guys as a warning. When it comes to this black-eyed kids, take no chances. People have seen weird stuff. Maybe they're some kind of a genetic clone or some kind of spy. I mean, there's all sorts of theories about these things. Something extraterrestrial. There's some kind of alien thing going on. I just wanted to say to you guys as a warning, if you see a kid in a hoodie, and that's the other thing too, is sometimes people report them as, like I was saying, it would be a rainstorm and his kid's just kind of out alone, or people going for a walk at night and somebody approach them. So it's not always in your home, but it's typically a kid asking for help. And sometimes they're seen in groups. I've heard stories of people driving and they see a kid by the side of the road, so they slow down, and then they blink and the kid's like, right next to their car, like no kid can move that fast. And then when they tell them no or go away or I'm not going to help you, they flash disappear. I've also heard stories of groups of them surrounding cars out in the middle of the night. I would just drive away as fast as you could, call the police. Like I said, there's no harm in the police coming out. They don't find anything. Maybe they will slip up some information about something else that's in the area. There also seems to be a lot of reports of these things. Like, you can live in areas that, never had a sighting of these things and you'll never hear about it other than maybe on the internet. And then there are other areas of high strangeness. We've talked about a lot of areas of high strangeness before, all around the United States and all around the world. Places that reportedly have portals and vortexes, places that reportedly have secret underground bases, places that have a real history of, say, like skinwalkers and that kind of a thing, or poltergeist activity, or haunted corners, ancient Indian burial grounds, that kind of stuff. Places of just general high strangeness, like Skinwalker Ranch is a good example of that. If you look into it, there's been so much weird stuff that's happened over the years in Yosemite National Park. There's spots in Florida and in the South, Sedona. There are places of real high positive energy and there's places of real negative energy. And not always, but sometimes this phenomenon of black-eyed kids is reported. And whatever these things are, whatever their motivation, whoever controls them, they're definitely out for something, and they're definitely preying on the instincts you have as a parent or just as a human being to play on kids. And I think that's why they're so sinister. And anyway, I just wanted to make a video talking about it to you guys, more or less as a big warning to, there's so much strange stuff out there, and I feel it's increasing lately. Some people say the veil is lifting or there's a reckoning going on. I don't know about all that, but definitely high strangeness definitely seems to be up. And I think the more people talk about it, unfortunately, gives these creatures, these things, more life, gives them more strength. But you can't warn people to protect themselves and stay safe unless you talk about it. So Anyway, I hope you like this video, folks. If you find this subject very creepy, like I do, give it a thumbs up. Share this in Facebook, your friends, or Instagram, or Twitter, and stay safe in the woods and your neighborhoods, folks.